Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a B-movie review, and today we have a look at the movie The Haunting of WHALEY House. So WHALEY House is actually a real house that is apparently haunted, but this movie isn't based on any sort of true events that apparently have happened there, and to be fair, it doesn't pretend that it does to begin with. This film is made by Asylum Pictures, which are traditionally known for making these kind of mockbuster sort of copycat movies that are based on or very similar to sort of the modern blockbusters that sort of come out of the sort of same year and stuff. But this one's more of an original film. They have done a few of these. So this really is the everyone kind of knows this WHALEY house is this apparently haunted house, and there's this girl that sort of works there as a sort of, it's actually a tourist attraction. Sort of people come in and have like tourist guides and things around the actual house. So she's basically worked there for around 4 months, and she's a skeptic, doesn't really believe in anything, the main character. But when she's out with a few of her friends, they decide to go in there after dark one night, just sort of have a look around and sort of have these like experiences and see if they can kind of like see anything spooky. So there's 5 of them, and they invite one of their cousins round, and who he also brings this other guy who's apparently this sort of psychic. So they all end up being in the house together, and sure enough, weird things starts to happen, and we sort of see things in the corner of our eye and stuff like that, and eventually the sort of the kind of body count mounts up. You have like a couple. They call the police at one point, and a couple of cops show up at the sort of towards the end of the film as well. So and you also have a few just passerbys who end up sort of getting roped into it at the same time as well. So this film does actually have a fair body count, to be quite honest with you. So for what it's like as a horror film, it's not really a particularly scary film, I have to say. There's far more sort of spooky films. It's obviously done on a very, very low budget. The effects are kind of fairly minimal. It's more sort of just sort of like, people in shadows with a kind of a bit of makeup on, really. That's kind of, there's not a lot of effects in this. There's a couple sort of towards the end, but not a great deal. The most standout thing about this film is the acting. It's a very strange way of acting. I don't think the script helps. I think the script is kind of fairly cliche, to be quite honest with you. And the acting, especially from the one guy who's meant to be this psychic, and he's this sort of tall English bloke, and I don't know, the way he delivers lines literally just sounds like I can imagine when you get the script, you just sort of read your lines, and that's how you read it in your head, and that's how he sort of is delivering it. It's very strange. I'm not sure if he's meant to be doing it like that, but it's it comes across as literally he's just kind of reading his lines to himself off a piece of paper. It's very kind of like disconcerting in a way. I don't think it's I don't think it fits with the film. It's almost comedy. And the strange thing is, when we first see this character, he's meant to be this psychic, but the first thing he demonstrates is by sort of telling someone their star sign. He gets wrong. So I was under the impression he's meant to be like this sham. He's meant to be like this sort of fake sort of TV sort of these guys who say they're talking to ghosts and stuff. But apparently he isn't a fake, and he generally does talk to ghosts, and he tends to sort of be the one that's sort of in touch with them the most. So it's a bit uneven, this film. It isn't a terrible film, to be honest with you. I've seen far worse from Asylum, and I've seen far worse horror films, but it's not a particularly scary film. I think the music helps. I think the music is a little bit sort of too bland and not really sort of creepy enough. And that's the thing. This film just isn't very creepy. And there's some gaps in logic. I mean, they kind of, a couple of things. I mean, for example, just pulled two out of thin air. They get trapped in the house, and they try to call out once, and they kind of get through, but it's a bit sort of muffled. But then by the trying again, they don't know if they've actually got through, but no one actually thinks to try again. And one of the characters, the first one, mild spoiler, the first one to die actually just sort of trips down the stairs because she's kind of startled by a ghost or what have you. And as far as they're concerned, no one else has really seen anything at this point, apart from a couple of weird things, but nothing sort of definitive. So, but one of them sort of says, "Oh, you know, we can't tell the police because they'll think we've killed her." And I think, why? It's fairly obvious she's fallen down the stairs. They'll be able to tell that, you know, she just tripped down the stairs by her you know, by her own. They're just like, why would you say that? I mean, it seems pretty obvious. I mean, you know, they've kind of gone into a house when they're not supposed to, but that's all they're going to get in trouble for. So I thought that was kind of a bit. It just seemed like a sort of way to cause friction within the group and stuff like that. So, you know, it wasn't terribly original, and as I said, the script was fairly sort of quite bland, but you know, it wasn't a terrible movie. It was okay. You get a couple of effect shots at the end, and a couple, you know, sort of like a zombie monster. Probably the most effective scene is one of the group gets sort of possessed, and it reminds me very much of like the Evil Dead films, and she's kind of like talking with a sort of demonic voice, and has like the crazy eyes and things like that. And that bit was I thought was quite effective. Yeah, it was quite good. A lot of people said that they kind of like the ending of this film. I won't tell you what it is, but I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was anything. I was expecting this really amazing ending, and it was kind of okay. It was kind of pretty much what I expected from this sort of film, to be honest. I don't know why people get so excited about the ending of this one. Anyway, have you seen it? Let me know what you think. How do you think it compares to other haunted house films? Leave me a comment. I look forward to seeing you next time. See you later.